he didn't see the king size bed that I bought. I know he did. So you gotta know.
I really don't think you want to know.
Well, I absolutely do want to know. I get to know.
Was history water under the bridge? It's
Person, with you. You gotta fucking terrible history. You gotta stop calling. Tell them. What's your what's
oh, that was supposed to be your
what's crazy? Understand? Our relationship has never been the best. Sometimes I feel like you want it to be. Like even if we are separated, I feel like you wanted it to you got this man in my crib. I was just dead. Man, what not too long ago. I was just taking
I hate to do this because it sounds like I'm a manipulator or a narcissist, but on our couch.
Look, just if you're a young man and you're in love, don't, I highly advise moving in with a woman or moving her in, because even though these are skits, right? And personally, I do skits, and a lot of the skits that I do for the little shows that I come up with, they're loosely based on reality, and it's pretty much, they're not even skits really. They're more so reenactments. This is a reenactment of how domestic violence happens 99% of the time. In this situation, he's not going to put his hands on her. They're not going to fight. 99% of the time in real life, if you're in a relationship and somebody tells you they brought somebody else to your house and into your bed, and you're thinking, I bought the bed, what are you doing? Then it's going to lead to violence. And honestly, every man goes through it. Yeah, nowadays, don't move in with nobody and don't move anybody in. It's just not worth it. Relationships they're not what they used to be. Try to avoid it. I'm sorry, I was just watching this when everything started, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and play it. I know it's shocking, right? Breaking news: Rico is skeptical about something else. Shocking. Rico doesn't believe something just because it's hard for me to believe things that don't make sense. One thing about history is that it does repeat. They say it don't repeat. It doesn't repeat. It rhymes. But when it comes to outcomes, things that are normal, things that are in nature, things that happen, they repeat themselves. There's a pattern because, the outcome is going to be the same if the conditions are the same. We've all seen plane crashes. We've all seen planes hit things. We've never seen anything like we did on 9/11, since 9/11. Until today. Well, actually, until 5 days ago. Let's go back to the year of our Lord, 2001. Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It's weird. We're actually talking about a jet crash in Pennsylvania. What is it about Pennsylvania where the laws of thermodynamics and the laws of physics seem to magically take days off? It's the schedule of Pennsylvania is amazing. Let's go back, and this is CNN footage right here. This is Shanksville. This is a crash site, they said, for a massive 747 jet that crashed into the ground. There's a hole, right? But there's no wreckage. Initially, there was smoke. But one thing about this Shanksville crash is that there's nothing there. So this is 2001, September 11th. There's smoke. There's some. It looks like a. It looks like a canister is smoking right here. 2001, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure how far Shanksville is from Philadelphia, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. There's just a hole here. There's no wings. There's no engines. There's no propellers. There's nothing signaling that a plane hit this area. The blast air radius doesn't seem to be no more than 20 feet. And this was a 747 jumbo jet that went down on 9/11 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Now, this is it. So look, this is the hole. This is the crater that it made. Not very big. And this is raw footage. So, but there's not, as you can see, there's nothing. There's no wings, there's no engines, there's no debris, there's nothing. Nothing. Pennsylvania. Now, a couple of weeks ago, there was a jet crash in South Korea. And when you look at the wreckage, well, that's the thing. It didn't happen in Pennsylvania. It happened in South Korea. And there's actually
one of the worst.
There's wreckage still there.
179 kills included.
The wreckage is still there. Now, this is not the same as, diving into the ground, but these planes are not made out of paper mache. Crashing into something does not mean that everything turns to dust, unless we're living in a simulation and reality is really just a video game and we can just make things disappear. If not, there should still be debris. So we come back to 5 days ago. A Learjet 55 was a jet rescue ambulance registered out of Mexico, apparently crashed and had the destruction of a low yield nuke or some kind of, this looks like the Ukraine. It is incredible, the damage from allegedly a small Learjet that could only fit 6 people, retrofitted so that it can do medical transport. This is the drone. This is the hole where they're saying a plane, a Learjet, crashed into right here. Now, these are barrels of something. They seem unharmed. Around the crash, the concrete seems rather clean. There's minimal debris. It looks fairly similar to the when the crash actually happened a few hours before at the nighttime. They're saying that a plane hit here and caused this. That's how big the plane is on the inside. Learjet. They're saying that this hole that I just showed you caused, so this is the hole right here, that it caused all of this damage. They're still saying people are missing who were driving or on the ground. So it's well above 7 people that they said have now or disappeared. They can't find the bodies. Look at how large this blast radius is from this impact. It doesn't make sense. We've never seen anything like this since really 9/11. There's a hole here, but where is the imprints from the wings? Where are the, look how big, look at these cars over here. The blast melted them. Let's see here.
Oh my God.
Look at the radius. Look at the blast radius. Look how huge this is. Over a small Learjet 55. The Learjet 55 has a fuel capacity of 1,000 gallons. It burns fuel at a rate of 188 to 244 miles per hour. That's actually a very small amount of gasoline. Apparently, a jumbo jet is, let's see here, 747, 48,000 to 63,000. I'll be honest, I've never seen the fuel tank on an airplane, and let alone one that could ever remotely hold 63,000 gallons. I mean, I don't know. There's all kind of weird theories about, do planes even run on gas? Because where's the gas stored? They're saying it's stored in the wings. I don't know. I've never seen the gas tank of an airplane, written on them a million times. Never seen that, but it's just weird. They're saying that this small plane, now this is some of the debris. This is debris, but it was found in a parking lot at another location.
Change, and then communication was lost with the aircraft.
Dennis O'Hara was an air traffic controller.
Look at this. They're saying that was a little small jet, they keep saying a small jet.
For decades and is familiar.
Look at that blast. Why would you waste millions of dollars on weapon systems when you could just buy a bunch of small plane drones and just crack? Look at this. Look at the blast.
Air traffic in Northeast Philadelphia.
And you think that was a small Learjet plane that has, even if it was full to capacity and not a drop of gasoline had been burned, because we don't know how long the plane would have been in the air. I'm not exactly sure. But say they had not burned any gas and it was 1,000 gallons of jet fuel in there. You think that 1,000 gallons of jet fuel could cause? Now, this is someone that's maybe at least a half a mile, maybe a mile away looking at this. This looks like a missile, looks like a bomb strike. It doesn't like a plane or anything like that.
Yeah, airport.
Look at that. Look how high up these flames are going. But we're supposed to just believe this without question, that streak that you've seen coming out of the sky. Now, I'm not saying that it was a missile. I'm not saying it's a nuke. I'm saying it could be something else. But a small medevac plane goes down all of a sudden and literally blows the hell out of Philadelphia, where they're still finding people who are on the ground that are dead, that are missing, that no one knows where they are. They happen to be in the area.
Says that based on what he heard and has seen.
And look at this. What is this, a Best Buy or something? This is a mall. Where this blast happened is by a gas station. There's no mall over there. Across the street, there was a Ross. This is not the Ross. How does debris this large make it to another location? And I don't see any burn marks on the outside. What is this material? What is this made out of?
Something catastrophic must have happened.
They're saying this is proof that it was a med evac, but it looks like somebody just pulled up and dropped that off. It doesn't look like this was blown from. It doesn't look like this was blown from here.
And familiar with the air traffic in Northeast Philadelphia Airport.
Without being on fire, and it just landed in a parking lot of this is like a mall, like some kind of shopping plaza in the area. And it just blew way over here. But it's nowhere near the actual blast site.
Oh my God.
So this debris survived this inferno. So this is the blast radius over here, this whole area. So they're saying that people are still gone, that they cannot find, that were in the area. Kids were hit by shrapnel, people inside of restaurants. But it was just a Lear 55 jet, and pieces of it was able to make it to parking lots and other areas. No burn marks, just blown off. But yet it was a massive inferno. An inferno like this.
With the air traffic.
This looks like a missile. It looks like a bomb or something else with a payload attached to it. It doesn't look like something that was just devoid of, that was just jet fuel. Just does that. But I guess you're not supposed to question official stories and just believe everything. And this is Shanksville. Okay. This is Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And let's go back to the very beginning. This is the hole. There's no clear sign of a wreckage. Let's see here. Philly jet crash. Let's see here. And that's the problem with just accepting official anything. This right here, like what?
Continuing.
How fast was this plane going?
A transport jet that
Look at this.
cockpit voice recorders. And overnight in Philadelphia, investigators locating the black box of the.
There's nothing here that shows a plane hit this. I don't even see where the wings would have hit the ground. I just see a hole. Where are the marks from where the wing would hit? Matter of fact, where's the engine? Where are they're saying they have a hard time finding a black box. How? There's only one small hole. Now it seems like they're trying to clear stuff out of the roads, but the biggest debris was found at another location. It wasn't even there. That's not the same parking lot that you see right here. Seems like that was a pretty far away place, but no one's literally talking about it. I've seen one person talk about it, and I think there should be more. I really do think it should be more. It looked like a missile.
A Learjet explodes just after takeoff, coming down near a mall like a missile with 6 people on board. What happened? The latest information on this episode of Taking Off.
The issue I have with reporting is that everybody kind of just goes along with the same narrative. So it's like you have to base everything you say off of the designated design narrative and you go from there. But isn't that the wrong place to start? It's like say you went to a college, right? And they offer courses in training Pokemon to fight. And you can go to that school and you can, pass all the classes and what if they give you a degree in Pokemon fighting? And you're literally starting to build research and you're starting to write journals and publish papers, all based on Pokemon fighting. But shouldn't we go back to the fact that Pokemon don't exist? And shouldn't we start there in the beginning? Shouldn't we go back to the genesis of that? There are no Pokemon. And that's the problem with all this science. It's all you have to base everything you say derived off of an agreed upon narrative from other people that could or could not be true. So everyone's making these reports and they're just assuming that the plane crash is what really happened. And no one's questioning, well, shouldn't we go back to see if that was even a plane in the first place? I mean, I don't see any wreckage. I've never seen anything like this before, since 9/11. 9/11 was the last time there was apparently a plane crash where there was just a hole and nothing else in the ground. This amount of destruction, but yet pieces of the plane survive, big chunks of the plane survive. It just doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. So yeah, call me a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that we've never seen these kind of results from a plane crash, and planes crash all the time. And these results should have been duplicated plenty of times before in our history where we can easily reference, a major blast radius is expected if a small plane nosedives into the ground. And you shouldn't expect to find any wreckage. You got to look for a black box. There should be nowhere the wings hit, but that only applies if you're in Philadelphia or if you're in Pennsylvania. If you're in North Korea, if you're in South Korea or other parts of the world in a plane crash, you're absolutely going to see wreckage. Just not in Pennsylvania because the laws of physics and thermodynamics take a break in the northeastern part of the United States. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of crazy. I thought it was something we should bring up and just re-examine the evidence and see if any of this makes sense. I mean, this is a big part of the plane that they're saying they found in a parking lot, a clear parking lot. That's definitely not where this happened. So where are you getting? I mean, look at how big this blast is, but then the debris that they're showing, and they're not showing you how far away that part that's like they'll show you the debris in the thumbnail, but they're not showing you where this parking lot is, where they found these big pieces in comparison to the hole in the ground that they're saying was caused by a small jet just crashing. It just doesn't make it does. I don't know. I mean, I look at plane crashes all the time. I've never seen one like this. The plane's been around for a while, so it's just interesting that no one's has any questions. Just me. I'm the only asshole that's going to get on the internet and make a video and say, I don't know. I've looked at other plane crashes of a small jet, and even large jumbo jets are not just leaving no debris and a small imprint, unless you go back to Pennsylvania, Shanksville, 2001, 9/11, where there's just a hole in the ground. And this is also magically in Pennsylvania. Maybe it's something to do with Pennsylvania. Maybe it spins a certain way. Maybe there's where the laws of physics and laws of physics and thermodynamics just don't apply to Pennsylvania or its people. Maybe Meek Mills can get away with even more stuff because he's in Pennsylvania. But other parts of the world, when a plane crashes, there's usually a wreck, not pieces of the plane that are not burnt showing up in parking lots. God knows how far away from this actual hole in the ground. I don't know how far away from this that is, but I know it's not close. If you look around, none of these have a clean, wet parking lot. It seems like somebody just pulled up and dumped these pieces out. And you're supposed to believe they're from a wreckage that happened. Who knows how far away this is? You're saying that this stuff just blasted and flew all the way. You have to just accept that. You have to accept that this blast right here, so massive that huge chunks of the plane landed in parking lots in other areas. But, I guess I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. Breaking news, big deal. Rico questions everything. I guess Rico doesn't believe anything. He's skeptical of everything. It's not that. I'm just skeptical of things that when no one asks questions, I'm skeptical. When everyone just assumes the television is telling you the truth, I feel some type of way about that because I've been lied to so many times. The same television told me that a mask was supposed to stop air from particles from a wombat that had sex with a meerkat, and it was creating things in the air, and you have to wear this mask to protect yourself. I was skeptical of that, and I didn't do it. I got into fights over it. I got arrested over it. And it turns out I was right years later. It turns out I was right. But regardless, if it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to do it regardless. Right now, believing that this small plane, a very small Learjet 55, a very small Learjet, caused like a damn near like a Scud missile or a mini nuke blew in Philadelphia. Look at this. There's a hole here. I don't see any tracks from wings or where engines were smashed or there's no wreckage of an airplane. And then they're telling me that big chunks of the plane blew off and landed in a parking lot a mile away. And I'm supposed to just buy that, hook, line, and sinker. Small plane crashes near mall. All of this caused by a small plane.
This is an area that is very busy, and so it's been a chaotic scene.
They're still looking for people who are, listen, they haven't found the bodies 5 days later of people that they say were on the streets who died. Cars are melted a quarter miles away. How big was the blast radius of this small Lear 55 jet that it could cause that much damage? And it only had 1,000 gallons of fuel capacity. 1,000 gallons of jet fuel is the capacity, and that's if it's full to the T. Most of these planes only travel with half because they're not going that far. This is a medical evac. So they were on their way to a hospital. Well, actually, I think they were going either to a hospital or I don't know if they were going all the way back to medical, but they were doing an evac. 1,000 gallons is the capacity of the fuel tank. And we're supposed to believe that it did this much damage. but not enough damage to burn up chunks of the plane that they're magically finding in parking lots a quarter mile away. But I'm a bad person and I'm a jerk because I question it. These huge pieces of the plane, it looks like someone just pulled up in a pickup truck, dropped these unburnt pieces, and took off. This is another picture of the hole in Philadelphia, and this is another picture of the hole in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. There's something about Pennsylvania, just like there's something about Mary. It doesn't make tons of sense. Terrifying explosion from a small plane. Just a little baby plane. There's no angle or security footage that shows an actual plane hitting. Yeah, it's nighttime and it's dark.
The entire flight.
On the entire community. The debris field extends 4 or 5 blocks. And I do want to stress that this is an active investigation scene. The debris is scattered. It is very.
This is not debris. These are cars who are nowhere near where this alleged plane hit the ground. These are cars that are melted, that were on fire. What are you not understanding? These cars are not near the blast. They're melted.
Dangerous. And so I encourage everyone.
Look at this. We haven't seen where allegedly the plane came down.
To stay out of the accident.
How did cars way down the street?
There is.
This is drone footage, so that's the blast right there.
Community, the debris field.
Look at this. Look how far away from the blast these cars are. Look at that. Look at this car melted. So the heat came from that blast site over there, melted the front of this car. One car here.
That this is an active investigation scene.
A parked car. 2.
The debris is scattered.
Another parked car. 3. A car driving away. A car right. 4, 5. And like I'm like this crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't believe nothing. I don't. You know what it is? I don't trust televisions. I don't trust anything a television says. I don't trust people that they put on television. I don't do it. If someone asked me to go on television, I wouldn't go. I'll do internet because I can just do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say, whatever. But I wouldn't go on TV where it's completely controlled because there will be somebody editing what I'm saying. Right now, I'm on Rumble. I'm back on YouTube temporarily. God knows how long that's going to last. You know what's crazy? On YouTube, they gave me a strike, right? Because I reported in Lebanon a few months ago when Mossad made everybody's beepers and cell phones blow up in their pockets. People they said were Hezbollah, and they started blowing off their legs and stuff. And I made the connection. I said, well, if they can get those electronics to explode, what can they do to the battery of your electric car? And magically, right, they gave me a strike for that video. All right, so that's why, I'm temporarily on YouTube. I do on my own. I do have some sponsors. I have some people that pay me to talk about their services, but I have to stay independent so that I can just talk about random stuff like this. This does not make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. This hole, this very small indent into the concrete, there's nothing around this that says plane hit me. There's no, look at, there's buckets right here of something. There's no wreckage. The wreckage is way down the block at a parking lot, and it's unburnt, and it just looks like it's crumbled up pieces of a white plane. but it doesn't add up at all. The small Learjet retrofitted to fit 6 people, pilot, 3-seater plus a chair. I mean, plus a bed. Very small plane. Extremely small jet. Learjet 55. 43 years old. MTS, medical ambulance. This is what they said caused. So it has 2 engines on it, and there's wings and a tail. Where are any of these things in this picture? There's a sign right here. It looks like it could be white. But this right here is not where the blast is. This is way here in the front of the picture. So what the hell is, what caused all the damage over here and way down the street? This is the blast with water and foam in it. I guess soapy water now. But this is down the road.
Oh, God.
You believe a tiny, small Learjet was able to do this?
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can't. I don't know. Maybe my card's not working. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Shanksville. I didn't buy this. I still don't buy this. This is where they said a 747 jet on 9/11, one of the 4 planes. Remember, they said 2 hit the towers, 1 hit the Pentagon. Turns out that was a missile. But they told you for, God, how long? How many years have they been lying to you saying that it was a plane that hit? Now you finally see some release footage where it's clearly a missile. But this is what they said happened in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I don't know how far this is from Philly, but there's just a hole in the ground. There's no wreckage. There's no plane. Just like this one. Maybe it's the curious case of Pennsylvania. Maybe that's what I should have named this live. Look, if you have questions, leave a comment. You know, we can come back to it and talk about it later. I got another live that I'm going to be on, and I'll post the link to it. I'm going to be on this other person's show. Starts in about an hour. I'm going to get some breakfast first, and then I don't know. Just doesn't seem believable. So, but go look into it for yourself. You know, ask yourself, you know, why are they finding these 343 homes? This did not hit it didn't hit an apartment complex. It didn't hit the projects. How the hell did 343 homes be affected by a small Learjet crash?
The NTSB continuing to gather evidence.
Look how big. Did you see that first picture? Look how big this picture is. Look how big this piece is they found in a parking lot that is nowhere near where a crash occurred.
The NTSB continuing to gather evidence at the site of the deadly medical jet crash in Northeast Philadelphia.
That crash killed 7 people, injured at least 2.
That's a lie, because there's 5 people I've seen interviews that are saying that their relatives are just missing. They were in that area, plane went down, and now their relatives' phones don't work anymore. They can't reach them at all. They're gone, but they haven't found bodies or nothing. So, but think about it. If you're melting cars blocks away, then what is it going to do to a human body that's closer to the blast? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Dozen more. Now, the city released an update today on exactly how many homes were impacted by the fiery wreck.
Action News reporting McCormick is live right in the.
This looks like a bunker buster would hit. Some kind of, I don't know, something with a payload and a warhead, not necessarily the front end of a small jet. And where are the engines? Engines are made of steel. Where are the engines, and why are there not impact craters where you can see where the engines clearly hit the ground as well? Why does everything just turn to dust in Pennsylvania? Except for Meek Mill's career. That thing's on fire, but
Crash scene in Northeast Philadelphia, with more on where this investigation stands at this moment. Andy.
Yeah, Sarah and John, the NTSB could wrap up as soon as tomorrow. Then they'll take all of that evidence to Washington, D.C. We're right next to one of the neighborhoods that has several homes that are impacted. In the meantime, while the investigation continues, licenses and inspections are assisting people that have homes that they can't actually stay in right now. They're helping them get some of those items. Additionally, Philadelphia police have also been escorting some people with damage to their homes. More than 3 days since the catastrophic.
The blast hit the street. How did hundreds of homes in the area get affected by a small Learjet?
Plane crash at Boston.
Why isn't anybody asking? Why am I the only person asking these questions?
In Cotman, life is slowly getting back to normal. According to the city, 4 homes were destroyed, 6 received major damage, 11 received other damages, and 343.
Now, the blast was it right here where the words were covering? So, okay, there were homes right behind this plaza, but even how the hell would a small Learjet with 1,000 gallons of jet fuel blast just cover this much territory? I'm giving an example also.
The investigation continues tonight into the fiery and deadly medical jet crash in northeast Philadelphia. The crash rocked the neighborhood. Suzanne Lee Stepp says she knows that her 47-year-old sister Sarah was visiting her boyfriend in northeast Philadelphia on the night of the medical jet crash. So when Suzanne heard news about the incident, she called her sister right away.
When I called her phone, it went straight to voicemail. She always answers my calls. So then I called her boyfriend, and he said he was worried.
Suzanne says he was worried because Sarah had recently left the house to get a bite to eat in the area where the plane went down. Nope.
Where in this picture do you see a plane went down? Where does this show? There's no hallmarks of a plane hitting this plaza.
Plane went down. No one has heard from or seen Sarah Stepp since that night.
And then look, and then there's another guy right here.
Emotional 2 days since that plane came crashing down near Roosevelt Mall. Count the best, but fearing the worst. She says the last time she heard from her big brother, 38-year-old Jason Rodriguez, he was shopping on Cotman Avenue Friday afternoon.
My brother takes his time because he got a bad foot, and he was on foot. He wasn't in a car. I had a message from him saying that he was done shopping.
What is with the masks? What is that all about? Why are you wearing a mask?
And he was going to go around the rest of the stores. And after that, I texted him about an hour later, no response. It was just ringing, and it was going straight to voicemail.
Katrina says before his phone went off, Jason's last location was on Common Avenue, an area where the Learjet medical transport plane crashed shortly after 6 p.m. She says Jason lives with her, a father figure to her kids, never turns his phone off. She says she's looked everywhere, called hospitals and law enforcement.
We just need him home. He means a lot to us. And like I said, I hope he's safe out there.
He usually would text us if he goes somewhere, and or he be at my house or my grandma's house. I'm worried because we don't know where he's at. We don't know what happened to him.
City officials have not identified any of the victims that were not on the plane, saying today there could be victims they don't know about.
That's part of the uncertainty that we're going to continue to have.
It's been days. This is from 3 days ago, and so the crash was 2 days before that. Wouldn't you have already found bodies already? I mean, there's entire days. So you're saying these people were just incinerated from a plane blast that probably happened a quarter mile away from them, and their bodies were just incinerated, just turned to dirt, turned to dust. Just, why are these people's bodies not being found if, because they were in the area? How did one small Learjet with 1,000 gallons of jet fuel cause this much damage and kill this many people? I mean, it didn't hit a club. It damaged some homes. But even that blast radius is insane. I mean, it was a huge explosion. Pieces are landing far away from where it actually hit, and there's no signs that I can tell that a plane created this hole. And they're still saying Excuse me, they're still saying only 7 dead. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could have just been a plane, yeah, but as of now, I just have questions and I would just like some answers, and I would just like people to stop just assuming that everything the television tells you is just completely accurate. They have a vested interest in you not knowing what could have been responsible for this, because people might want to sue. If it was something else caused by another company that you could sue and these people's families would go after, then yeah, for you to blame a medical jet instead, okay. I don't know. It's just very weird. I'll be back on. I got another show to do. I'm going to have breakfast and then I'm going to go get ready. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video if you can, and try to support the channel, a new channel. Just trying to build it up, and we have more questions and talk about some more things later on today. Thank you very much. And there's a word from our sponsor, cosigning.com. If you're looking to move to an apartment, the home of your dreams, but your credit's a little low or your income's a little low, and to ask someone who's in your family or a friend to be your co-signer for you to get an apartment, if they say no, it's going to create a strain in your relationship. So you're better off reaching out to co-signing.com. They will match you with a qualified co-signer today, and you would just pay them a fee and they will be your co-signer for a 12-month lease. Here's a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back shortly.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.